Nessie lives. By Nessie, I am of course referring to the Loch Ness Monster, who has been elusive and infamous for many years. I believe that its existence may be affirmed by the evidence I'm about to put forth. Whether or not the loch's slithering inhabitant is a plesiosaur that escaped extinction, a large newt, which some affirm, or even an escaped circus elephant going for a swim, which is one of the theories, there is a very real belief that there's something living in the loch, and that's what I'm going to talk about right now. For centuries, these sightings have occurred, and I believe they're too important to be explained away by theories of boat wake or too much Scotch whiskey. Some may ask why, if the Loch Ness Monster exists, it's not been captured. And my answer is simply because it lives in Loch Ness. For someone who has never seen the loch, it's a bit difficult to imagine, but it's 24 miles long, over a mile wide, and in some places more than 900 feet deep, which is deeper than some places in the Atlantic Ocean and deeper than the North Sea. With all this amount of water, that'd be a very difficult area to survey, even in the best conditions. But another factor remains in Loch Ness, and that's peat. It's a very rich soil that washes down from the mountains and makes the water turn a dark brown color, and visibility is almost impossible more than a few inches. So of course it's a perfect place for something to be hiding out all these years. The first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster, and this is one of the 10,000 reported sightings of the monster, was recorded in the 7th century by a scholar named Adamnan in his Life of St. Columba. And the story goes that St. Columba, a monk, was walking along the loch and noticed as one of his companions was swimming out, a large creature came out with an open mouth and tried to eat him. Columba made the sign of a cross and had the creature go back into the sea. So in an account this early, one must wonder, there was no motivation of tourist revenue or anything at that point. So it seems like this is a very likely and credible account. But there have also been modern sightings which are technical, such as this by Tim Richardson. He says he's a qualified zoologist, and he says at a big angle, big fish angler, and he says as a fish turns its flank over and rolls just under the surface of water, it raises the water above it. For example, a 30-pound carp may move a significant oval-shaped area of water at the surface, perhaps 3 feet. The surface water movement I observed was about 15 feet long by 10 feet across. I never saw what caused it, but I fished right next to large seals, seen deer swimming, know very well the depth of sturgeon and dolphins compared to carps, and whatever caused this phenomenal water movement was none of these possibilities. This testimony gives a measured and technical explanation by someone who is very experienced in the field. And the final thing I want to say is just the sheer number of local sightings that have been very similar, that they've seen something like a whale-like hump or humps in the water. And I think Richard White, talking to a PBS special, says it best. It wasn't just imagination. I'm a sane guy and I've got no axe to grind. What used to me is a Loch Ness Monster. I sell pet food. So as you see, even the locals have seen this many times and have very similar accounts. And, you know, we may never know, but there will always be skeptics until the loch is drained. But I think it's too much of a coincidence to apply just to the myth files. And I hope she intrigues many for years to come.